Liu Bei, the Emperor of Shu and the Great Lord of Benevolence. For the longest time, he has been in Dynasty Warriors as a being of peace and prosperity, with the ability to gather strong officers and inspire the people. But such a man couldn't possibly be real, right? Well, let's see what history has to say.
I am the son of heaven.
Liu Bei was born into a poor family where he and his mother made ends meet by selling shoes. But it was clear that this young man always had ambitions and dreams of becoming emperor. With the very loose claim of being a descendant of a Han emperor, Liu Bei was able to become an apprentice to a former minister at age 14. With the outbreak of the Yellow Turban Rebellion in 184, Liu Bei assembled a volunteer army to suppress the uprising. And it was in this turmoil that Liu Bei's true feelings about the state of the Han Dynasty began to surface.
A real man should be serving his emperor in hours of peril.
It was during this time that Liu Bei befriended one of his fellow volunteer soldiers, Zhang Fei, and whilst they were sharing a drink together, they came across a wanderer named Guang Yu. Over the course of working together, they proposed that they should become sworn brothers. And so they met in Zhang Fei's peach garden and swore themselves as brothers in a peach garden oath. Together, the three fought valiantly and helped their fellow Han officers fight the Yellow Turbans and suppress the rebellion.
Though fierce as tigers soldiers be, battles are won by strategy. A hero comes, he gains renown, already destined for a crown.
After the revolt was finally pacified in 192, the land was in a constant state of civil war, and throughout this chaos, Liu Bei sided with many warlords and built powerful connections with the influential clans. With his alliance with Yuan Shao, he was able to take control over Shu province. In 195, Liu Bei gave shelter to Lu Bu after the latter's defeat at the hands of Cao Cao and Pu Yong. When Liu Bei and Guang Yu left to fight Yuan Shao's enemies, Lu Bu took advantage of the chaos surrounding Zhang Fei's erratic behavior and took over Xiaopi. Liu Bei was left with no choice but to submit to Lu Bu's allegiance in order to reclaim his family. Unable to repel Lu Bu's forces, Liu Bei turned to Cao Cao for aid. With the warlord's help, he was able to successfully defeat Lu Bu and reclaim Xiaopi. In 199, Liu Bei was stationed with Yuan Shao at Guangdu. However, he was forced to retreat from Cao Cao's forces and leave Guan Yu behind. After Yuan Shao died, Liu Bei was able to reunite with Guan Yu and took refuge with Liu Bei, who welcomed him with open arms and treated him like family for 7 years. However, during these 7 years, Liu Bei felt unfulfilled.
The days and months pass like a stream, and old age will come, and I have achieved nothing.
In 207, Liu Bei obtained the talents of scholars Zhuge Liang and Peng Tong and the temporary services of Zhu Shu. After Liu Bei died, his sons surrendered to Cao Cao without informing Liu Bei. Upon hearing this, Liu Bei abandoned his station at Fengcheng and led his citizens to Jing province. Cao Cao was able to catch up to him at Changban, forcing Liu Bei to abandon most of his loyal followers and his family in order to reach Jing. In 208, Liu Bei went into an alliance with Sun Quan in order to fight off Cao Cao's overwhelming forces. With their help, they were able to deal a damaging blow to Cao Cao at Chirbi. After that victory, Liu Bei married Sun Quan's younger sister, Lady Sun, at Zhengye to succeed as governor of Jing. In 211, Liu Bei made an alliance with Liu Zhang in Yi province. However, Liu Zhang's advisor, Fa Cheng, disapproved of his style of governance and helped Peng Tong to devise a plot to overthrow Liu Zhang. After Ma Chao allied with Liu Bei, Liu Zhang surrendered in 214. In 215, Liu Bei and Cao Cao's forces clashed once again at Hongzhong, with both sides pitting their most talented officers against one another. Ultimately, Liu Bei emerged victorious. In reaction to Cao Cao declaring himself king of Wei, Liu Bei was urged by his subjects to declare himself king of Hongzhong. Not only that, he bestowed Wei Yan, Fa Cheng, Zhang Fei, Guang Yu, Ma Chao, and Huang Zhong with new titles. On top of that, appointing Liu Shan as his heir and making Chengdu his HQ. Only a year later, in 219, Lu Meng captured and executed Guang Yu at Fan Castle. Furious with Wu's betrayal, Liu Bei ordered his troops to attack Sun Quan.
I cannot let Wu get away with this betrayal. I will have vengeance for Guan Yu's death.
In his campaign, Liu Bei ignored all strategic advice, leaving Wei to take over key Shu locations. Not only that, he suffered devastating losses fighting Wu. However, with time, the Wu and Shu forces were able to make amends and create a permanent alliance. So there are some interesting facts about Liu Bei that got implemented to the game. For one thing, he started off as a peasant. In the games, Liu Bei shows a lot of sympathy towards the poor and even the Yellow Turban Rebellion, because he knows how it feels to grow up with nothing, which usually causes him to reflect on the state of the Han Empire and makes him feel that he could do more for the people. And that is what Liu Bei is mostly portrayed as, a man of the people, most notably during the Battle of Changban, where he had to gather all of the citizens and move with them, fearing that Cao Cao may do more harm than good. He also earned the loyalty and services of Ma Chao and Zhao Yun, which puts him on a somewhat moral high ground. After all, the forces of Shu in Romance of the Three Kingdoms are portrayed as heroic, or at the very least morally green. And of course the most important thing, his kinship with both Guan Yu and Zhang Fei. The most noteworthy event surrounding these three is their oath during the Yellow Turban Rebellion and their battle against Lu Bu at Hulao Gate, both of which earned them notoriety and the respect of valiant warriors. When both of them died due to betrayal, Liu Bei sought only revenge, ignoring any type of strategy whatsoever. It did not play out in his favor, but it just shows how much he cares about his brothers. Liu Bei, like many other Shu officers, has a theme of dragons. His clothing and armor has dragons inscribed on it, and his weapons are named after dragons. His Musou attacks, the Electric Fang, Thunderclap, and Rolling Thunder, are also themed after dragons. That's because dragons in Chinese myth are known for creating storms and throwing lightning. He uses a long sword in early games, which is called the Golden Dragon, which refers to Huang Long, a golden dragon of Chinese mythology. However, later games have him use twin swords, or swallow swords as they're called, which are more accurate to Romance of the Three Kingdoms. In earlier games, the names of these swords reflect two contrasting groups joining together: Strength and Virtue, Heaven and Earth, Yin and Yang, Triumph and Despair, which is also reflective of Liu Bei's personality. This also makes him a perfect match for Zhang Zhang, who also dual-wields weapons that are themed after polar opposites, and may also be a reference to the union between Wu and Shu. Liu Bei was said to have studied the art of Wushu. However, in more recent Dynasty Warriors games, he seems to be employing the techniques of Choi Loi Fut, emphasized by his acrobatic use of his swallow swords. Liu Bei passed away in 223 after his failed attack on Wu, naming Zhuge Liang as a regent for Liu Shan.
Zhuge Liang, you are 10 times more talented than Cao Pi, and capable of accomplishing our great mission. If my son can be assisted, then please assist him. If he proves incompetent, then you must take his place.
Some say Liu Bei was too much of a nice guy, with much of his decision-making being based on emotion and heart rather than strategy. In fact, it was this reputation that almost made him the poster boy of the series. However, Koei decided to go along with Zhao Yun, and although Zhao Yun took that spot, you can see that there's still a lot of respect for Liu Bei throughout many of these games. And in the end, he was just a man with a dream to end the warring state and do what he can for the people. Another part of his dream may have had you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and check out some videos on here. And if you could do me a solid, leave a comment down below and like this video, and share it around with everyone else that you know. And I appreciate you guys for watching this. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.